The sky above the Gulf is turning a bruised, sickly purple. A massive wall of water is currently boomeranging across the American heartland. It is Friday, May 8th, and the atmosphere is officially breaking. Cold air is slamming into the deep south like a freight train. The ground is shaking under the weight of a historic atmospheric shift. Do you feel that unseasonable chill crawling up your spine? This isn't just a spring shower. This is a total systemic collapse of the May weather pattern. The map looks less like a forecast and more like a battle zone. A horseshoe of violent storminess is wrapping around the entire eastern United States. It is swallowing the plains, the Midwest, and the Ohio Valley in one bite. But the real nightmare isn't what is happening right now. It is what is lurking just behind the horizon. Would you be ready if the season suddenly reversed? Something is happening to our jet stream that shouldn't be possible in May. Think back to just a few days ago. The Carolinas were baking under a relentless, dusty drought. Farmers in Virginia watched their soil crack into jagged spiderwebs. The air was still, dry, and deceptively quiet. Families were planning weekend hikes and early summer barbecues. In the Pacific Northwest, the tall pines stood tall and green. Everything felt normal, even if it was a little too dry. May is supposed to be the bridge to summer warmth. We expect the flowers to bloom and the sun to stay. But nature had a different plan for the month of May. The warmth we all expected has been held hostage. A massive block of ice-cold air has moved into the neighborhood, and it has no intention of leaving your doorstep. What happens when a historically cold May meets a thirsty, dying landscape? The jet stream is beginning to buckle like a bridge under too much weight. On this Friday evening, the radar is starting to light up. A strange horseshoe shape is forming across the Great Plains. It curves through the Gulf states and swings up into the mid-Atlantic. The atmospheric pressure is dropping fast. By Saturday morning, May 9th, the deep south is under fire. Heavy rain is no longer a chance. It is a certainty. The moisture is being pulled directly from the warm Gulf waters. It meets the invading cold air and turns into a liquid hammer. The Carolinas and Virginia are finally getting what they prayed for. But rain can be a double-edged sword when it comes all at once. By Sunday, May 10th, the pattern refuses to break. The trough is digging deeper, pulling freezing air from the Canadian wilderness. Great Lakes residents are waking up to a surreal sight. Snowflakes are mixing with the rain in the second week of May. The ridge and trough pattern is now a permanent fixture on the map. Monday, May 11th, arrives with gray, heavy skies. The thermometer is struggling to hit 60 degrees in the south. This isn't the humid, stormy May we are used to. The air is heavy, cold, and strangely suppressed. The energy is building, but it has nowhere to go. Is this cold front actually a shield protecting us from something much worse? By Tuesday, the silence is broken by a new system in the Midwest. The Northwest is now seeing its own rain turn into heavy snow. On Wednesday the 13th, the Ohio Valley is in the crosshairs. Then comes Thursday, May 14th, the day the cycle repeats. A massive rain-making event slams the East Coast once again. The drought in Virginia is being washed away by a deluge. Rivers are rising to the brims of their banks. In the Northwest, a low-pressure system is spinning like a top. But there's a dark shadow hanging over the Pacific coast. Meteorologists are watching a monster wake up in the ocean. El Niño is officially strengthening, and it is hungry. For the Northwest, this rain is a final, desperate gift. A year of bone-dry conditions is staring them in the face. By Saturday the 16th, the atmosphere starts to twitch. The break in severe weather is beginning to expire. The cold air in the east is finally starting to lose its grip. And when the cold moves out, the monsters move in. The southern plains are seeing the first signs of a blow-up. The humidity is surging back from the Gulf of Mexico. The air is becoming electric and unstable. What happens when the cold shield finally shatters on May 20th? Everything you've seen so far is just the opening act. The real terror begins after the 20th of May. The GFS and European models are finally in terrifying agreement. The entire map is about to flip upside down. The western ridge is going to collapse. Warm, moist air is going to flood the eastern half of the nation. The moment that heat hits the lingering cold, the sky will explode. We are looking at a massive surge of rising motion. This is the perfect recipe for a widespread severe weather outbreak. The plains, the Midwest, and the Deep South will become a kill zone. Thunderstorms won't just form, they will blow up instantaneously. The period between May 20th and May 23rd looks absolutely insane. We are moving from a historic cold to a historic storm threat. And while the east burns with storm energy, the west is changing. The Northwest is about to enter a precipitation desert because of El Niño. They may not see significant rain for another entire year. The beneficial rain they are getting now is all they have left. The models show a relentless, persistent cycle of chaos. Cold, then heat, then violence. Repeated over and over. June is lurking around the corner with even more heat. The atmosphere is a coiled spring, and it is about to snap. Which of the two major weather models will be the one to save us? The next 12 days will redefine the spring of 2026. We are transitioning from a shivering May to a screaming one. The drought is ending, but the danger is only beginning. Prepare your storm shelters and keep your batteries charged. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell to track every update. Do not let the next blow up catch you off guard.